All right, we have gone over converting between centimeters and millimeters, and we've done it by using a conversion fact and thinking about multiplying and dividing. There's another way that you can convert within the metric system by using what we call a number line. And we're only going to look at the centi and the milli that's down here on the right-hand side of our diagram. In the metric system, we have certain base units, meters, grams, and liters. And we've been talking about centimeters and decimeters, and when we get into dosage calculation, we'll be talking about milligrams. So what this does, it just shows you the relationship between each one of what we call the prefixes, because we always keep our base units. And so when we start talking about kilograms, which is something that we've talked about, kilo is a prefix that means 1,000. So if I have a kilogram, that means I have 1,000 grams. So it makes it easy to remember that. The other two that we need to remember are centi, which is 1/1000th of a base unit of measure, and milli, which is 1/1000th. So how we use this number line is we look at where we're going.
You may want to start again.
Why?
You just said that the centi was 1/1000th and the milli was 1/1000th. Okay.
In the metric system, when we convert within the metric system, there's another way that we can look at converting, and we can use something that we call a number line as opposed to trying to remember what our conversion facts are. And when we look at the metric system, we have what we call base units of measure, and they're meters, grams, and liters. And we've worked with meters, and we've worked with grams. And we look at, then we have prefixes, and each one of these prefixes means something. And one of the ones that we've worked at with is a kilogram. And kilo is a prefix that means 1,000. So if I have kilogram, that means I have or if I have a kilo, that means I have 1,000, whatever my base unit is. Now we've worked with weight, so we use grams for weight. So a kilogram is the same thing as 1,000 kilograms. When we get over to the right side of our number line, then we're starting to talk about decimals in smaller units. So you can see here where I have deci, that's worth 1/10 of whatever our base unit is. Centi, which is 1/100th of whatever our base unit is. And then I have milli, which is 1/1000th of whatever our base unit is. And what we've been working with is meters, and we've converted from centimeters to millimeters and millimeters and back. And so what we can do with this, when we will look at a number line, and we can start with our 35.5 centimeters. Okay? And when we multiply or divide by units of 10, what we're doing is we're simply moving a decimal from left to right by one place or the other. It just really depends on what our math function is. So if we look here, we're starting with centimeters, and I want to go to millimeters. So when I go from centi to milli, I'm going to go from centi to milli. I'm going one place on my number line to the right. So instead of multiplying, I'm simply going to take this decimal point and move it one place to the right, which is the same thing as multiplying by 10. So now I can say that my 35.5 centimeters is the same thing as 355 millimeters. And we can do the same thing going back. We started out with an incision that was 25 millimeters in length, and we needed to know how many centimeters that was. So when we have a whole number, my decimal place is always right here at the end. So I need to go from millimeters to centimeters. I'm going one place to the left, which means I'm going to take my decimal point and move it one place to the left. So now I can say that my 25 millimeters is equal to 2.5 centimeters. This is just another way to do it without actually having to do your math functions.